Hi, I'm Maureen. This is a flow and restore class. The emphasis will be on restore. We combine these two styles of yoga, this vinyasa flow, to really shake off our excess energy, our negative energy, um, so that we can clear the mind and clear the body so that we can allow the body to rest and hold poses to help open passive opening in either a seated, reclined, or supine position. And it's very healing, and it's something we don't, as a culture, really put a priority on. So I'm glad you made the time for this. I want to tell you that restorative yoga requires a lot of props, and you can pause the video to go get some of these. If you have a bolster like you might find at a studio, good on you. You'll use it. If not, you'll improvise. These rollers, these foam rollers, are very firm and helpful. You could use bed pillows. Try to get the firmer ones. You'll need 3. You could use couch pillows. They're smaller. Again, you're just going to stack them up. Instead of blankets, get at least 2 and 2 towels, and make them beach towels because they're a lot longer. The other prop is blocks. If you have yoga blocks, fantastic. If not, improvise. You can use a hardbound book. You'll need several of them, and the thicker the better. Or you could use full toilet paper rolls, but at least have 2. All right. And we're going to end one of the last restorative poses will be legs up the wall. So if you have a clear space on the wall that you can access, fantastic. If your place is small and you don't, then everyone has a chair, and I'll do a version of legs up the chair. So you can always pause the video to go get the props that you need. For now, clear your mat of all these props. And we'll do just a little bit of centering. Grab one of those towels. And use the towel to be underneath your sit bones so that your ankles are sitting on the mat. Sit bones are at the base of your rear end. Sit cross-legged. Always, always, always take time to center, to bring your mind, bring your body to this moment. We've got so many things happening all the time, so we really practice this single point of attention to still the mind and focus it. So to help you do that, I invite you to sit up nice and tall. Draw your shoulder blades together on your back. Check in that ears are over shoulders, shoulders are over hips. And lower your gaze to keep or to invite your attention inward. So looking down, if you're comfortable, close your eyes. And just take in a nice, big, deep breath. Breathing in through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Just sense this breath is clearing. You know, holding these classes via Zoom, there will be a lot of extraneous noises. Keep the deep breathing going to clear your mind and body. But I've got somebody outside using a weed eater. I've got a dog here at my house, so you're going to hear lots of noises and distractions. Let that be part of your practice, to identify the noise and then bring your attention back to what we're doing. Last time, big, deep, exaggerated breath in. And big, deep, long, slow, smooth exhale out. Good, and let that go. Just coming back to your own normal rhythm of breath. Let your attention grow large. Take in your body from head to toe, the mat you're sitting on, the room you're in. And then telescope or zoom in your attention just to rest on the breath. Just noticing the breath as it enters the body, moves through the body, and leaves the body. And now we'll add a pranayama. Pranayama is a regulated breath practice, and the intention is to practice lengthening and deepening our breath. Because that is a tool we use in yoga. The breath leads the movement. The breath helps us sustain movement. And the breath helps us to calm. And so today we'll do a pranayama that involves our hands. You can keep your eyes closed and follow along verbally, but let your hands rest on your knees, palms face up. Exhale fully. On an inhale, slowly lift your hands to rest at the center of your chest, at your heart, one palm stacked on the other. Exhale, extend your arms out wide. Let your movement follow the full exhale. Inhale, make a fist and hold at the top of the inhale for as long as you can. And when you're ready to exhale, release the fist and slowly release your arms down to your hips. Follow your timing of your breath if it's different from mine. We'll repeat. Place your hands on your knees, palms facing up. Exhale fully. When you're ready to inhale, hands slowly rise to your heart. When you're ready to exhale, extend arms out wide like a T. Inhale, make a fist and hold at the top of your inhale. Sustain that if you can. And when you're ready to exhale, release the fist and very slowly exhale. Let your arms match the length of your exhale. The hands reaching your hips as you finish that exhale. One more time. Excuse me. Palms face up, resting on your knees. Exhale fully. When you're ready to inhale, slowly lift hands to your heart. When you're ready to exhale, send arms out wide like a T. When you're ready to inhale, make a fist. Pause at the top of your inhale. Hold it as long as you can. And when that exhale needs to go, you release the fist and slowly exhale. When you've finished, release this practice and return to your normal breath. Bring your hands to meet at your heart in Anjali Mudra. Take a big deep breath in. And an even deeper breath out. Release your hands to your side. And let's rise to standing. Remove the blanket. Let's just do a quick warm up. Hands on your hips. Shift your weight to the right foot and come onto the big toe of the left foot and just begin making circles. Get the toe bones rolling, waking up those toes, and then let the circling initiate from the ankle. Just sending the ankle large, wide circles. And now let the knee lead the circling. Maybe the circle gets a little bit wider. And then think about the circling being initiated right where the thigh meets the hip socket. And release. Let that go. Shift your weight to the left leg. Come on to the right big toe and circle those toes. Bend the toes, extend them. And then let the circling happen, led from your ankle. And now let the knee lead. Might change the shape. And then let the thigh lead. And you might lift off the ground if that feels good, if balance is not an issue. And release, step wide, and let's do some loose hip circles. Bend the knees, and just waking up the hips, small or large, meet your body where it's at. Send the hips around in one direction, and then go the other direction. And release, and let that go. Thinking now about your rib cage, I want you to isolate the movement to the rib cage. It's a very small movement. Trying, nevertheless, other parts of your body will move. Just trying to separate or isolate the movement, go the other direction. Really good to cultivate capacity to move these muscles by themselves, but it's a challenge. All right, let that go. Thinking now about the shoulders. A couple shoulder rolls. Lift them up, send them back. Send them around, these large circles as you can manage that feels okay with your shoulders at this point. Now think about the elbows leading the circles. Yeah, a little bit more awkward, but let that lead. And then let the whole arm be involved in the circle and make these as big as feels good for your shoulders right now. Several going back behind you. And let that go. Neck circles. couple in one direction. You choose the tempo, you choose whether it's fast or slow. And eventually reverse. Going in the other direction, taking this time to warm up your body. And then bring your feet a little bit more in line with mountain pose. So inner hips width distance apart, feet are parallel like a equal sign and toes pointing forward. Activate, press down through feet, squeeze your thigh muscles, pull in your core muscles, and inhale, arms out wide and up overhead, look up and reach up. And let it feel good as you elongate the spine. And then gaze comes back parallel to the ground. Right hand grabs left wrist. As you inhale, lift up that opposite arm. And exhale, side bend. And let this feel good. Stay here for a breath cycle. If it's all right with your neck, turn to look down at your bicep. And release. Come on back up, gaze forward. Release the bind. And now left hand grabs right wrist. Inhale, pull that opposite arm up. And exhale, side bend. Release into this, opening up the right side of your body. And holding here, breathing here. And if it's okay with the neck, turn to look down. And release. Gaze comes forward. Keep your hands up high overhead. Keep your core active as you exhale into goddess arms. Palms face forward, bring those elbows back and open up the chest. Now step a little wider and soften through your knees. We're going to twist with our arms in goddess pose. So just twisting with little momentum. We don't have to do this together. Your hips move with you. Keep your chin in alignment with your heart. Whoops. And let the elbows help you. Twist a little deeper. Wake up your side body. One more each side. And release and let it go. We'll do some forward folds and then and a lunge warm up, and then we'll move right into our vinyasa. So standing in mountain pose, legs are active. Squeeze, hug muscle to the bone, pull the core in, point the tailbone down. Inhale, lift your arms up overhead and look up, Urdhva. And then exhale, bend at the elbows, hinge at the hips and bow. Add any bend to the knees as your hamstrings are still warming up. In this Uttanasana forward fold, you point the crown of the head down and you lift the sit bones up. And now we'll come up halfway. Inhale, lift up, hands on knees, long spine, long legs, long arms, long neck. Inhale, pull your belly to your spine, pull the shoulder blades together on your back, and reach the crown of your head forward. Exhale, back down to your Uttanasana, adding a bend to the knees, letting this warm you up. Let's repeat. These are called pranams. Inhale, rise up halfway. This is half forward fold or Ardha Uttanasana. Pull your shoulder blades together down your back. Reach the crown of your head forward. Exhale, back down, Uttanasana. Point the crown of the head down and lift up through your hips. And now hands will frame your feet. As you step the right foot back, straight leg lunge. And just wake up, lower the hips, lift the hips. Wake up that back leg, the back hip flexor, and then lower that back knee down to the ground. Activate strong legs, strong hips as you rise up, lift up, and maybe look up. While you're here, you can sink a little deeper into your hips to make this pose a little bit more demanding. If you're looking up, you're adding a back bend. And then exhale, float the hands down. Let's twist. Right hand touches the ground in alignment with the front big toe. Twist towards the front big knee. Keep ribs close to thigh. Left hand to hip. And then add the hand lift to the ceiling, 12 o'clock. See if you can look at your left thumb with your right eye. And that helps to align your twist in your cervical spine. Release, hands down to frame the front foot. Lift the back knee, press off back foot to join front foot, and you're back in Uttanasana, forward fold, adding a few deep bends in your knees and lengthen. And hands frame the feet. As you exhale, step the left foot back, warm up the other side, lift and lower the hips just to be kind to your body. And then lower the back knee, activate strong legs, strong hips, rise up through your spine, lift arms up overhead. Your gaze can be straight forward for stability, or you look up to challenge your balance. Sink down, lower your hips, pull your shoulder blades together, open your heart. And then exhale, hands lower, frame the front foot. Let's twist. Hand can touch a block to give you a little bit more space, or the hand can touch the ground, right in alignment with the big toe to give your spine that length that it needs. Twisting towards the front right leg, pull ribs close to thigh, right hand to right hip, and then right hand lifts. Point up to 12 o'clock. If you want to challenge yourself, let the left eye look at the right thumb and breathe. Release, hand comes down to the ground, back knee lifts, press off back foot to join the front foot. Hands come to your hips, pull your belly to your spine, and lift the spine as one unit. Inhale, arms up overhead. Look up, add the back bend, hands touch. Exhale, Anjali Mudra, and release. If you have blocks, you want to use them. Let them frame the feet as you stand at the top of your mat, and we add our vinyasa. Rocking back and forth on the balls of your feet and your heels, just to wake up those feet. And then find stillness in mountain pose as you press down evenly through the feet. Firm up your legs, lift the kneecaps, draw your belly up and in. Point the tailbone down. Roll your shoulders up to your ears. Shoulder blades glide down your back, palms face forward. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Inhale, arms rise up in front of you. Look up, Urdhva Stasana. Exhale, hinge the hips. Perhaps you bend the elbows as you bow forward. Come down into Uttanasana. Crown of the head points down, hips lift. Inhale, rise halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Pull your belly in, pull the shoulder blades together down your back. Exhale, back to your forward fold. Hands can touch the blocks or frame the feet as you step the right foot back, straight leg lunge. Lower your hips, lift your heart, lift your gaze, be light on fingertips. And step back, downward facing dog. First down dog of the day, so warm the body up. One heel goes down, the opposite knee bends, walk the dog. You can sway your hips side to side. You could shake your head, yes. Make sure you're not holding tension. Shake your head, no. Keep your hands spread out wide like a starfish to protect your wrists. You are making an upside down V, so point the tailbone up and let your body warm up. We'll move through this pose several times. On an inhale, shift your body forward to plank. Long line of energy from the heels, up your legs, up your spine, up to the crown of the head. Pull your energy to your midline, so activate everything. Squeeze everything. And now we lower with an exhale. You can bring knees to touch the ground for a half plank, or you can go down in full plank, elbows close to ribs, either way. Once you're on the ground, tops of the feet form your foundation, firm up your thighs. Inhale, lift up through the heart. Pull the shoulder blades down your back, elbows point back, baby cobra. Exhale, lower, tuck your toes. Inhale, press up the table. Exhale, lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Each time you come through down dog, try to come a little deeper into this pose. We stay here for a breath or two. Push your ribs towards your thighs, arms frame your ears. On an inhale, right leg rises long behind you. Exhale, bend the knee, pull it forward, step it forward. Take your time, take as many steps as you need. In straight leg lunge, lower your hips, lift your heart, and then press off back foot to join front foot. In forward fold, Uttanasana. Point the crown of the head down. Feel your hamstrings warming up. Pull your belly to your spine, and inhale, lift. Keep that spine nice and long. As you rise up, reach up, look up, Urdhva Stasana. Hands touch. Exhale, release. And hands to your sides. Again, we continue. Find stillness in your mountain pose. Plant your feet. Turn your palms up. Inhale. Arms can go up in front of you or arms can go out wide. Look up, lengthen. Exhale, your hands can go out wide for a swan dive. As you keep that spine long, you hinge at the hips and you bow. Point the crown of the head down. Follow the circle, the cycle of this sun salutation. Inhale, rise halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Pull the shoulder blades together. Exhale, forward fold. Hands frame the front foot. Step the left foot back, straight leg lunge. Lower the hips, lift your heart. Let's rise. Squeeze the legs, squeeze the hips as you lift your torso. And you may keep hands at your hips or hands at the side or hands rise up. You could lift your gaze up. Breathe and lengthen. Exhale, hands lower, frame the front foot, step back, downward facing dog. Come a little deeper into this pose. This lengthens your spine and lengthens your legs. Let your heels move towards the ground. Push your shoulders away from the earth. So many benefits to this pose. On your next inhale, shift forward to plank. Try to make a line with your body. You can't see it. It's proprioception. Awareness of your body and space. Activate all your muscles. And now we exhale, lower. Half plank or full plank. The elbows are close to ribs. Lower down, release. Tops of your feet touch the earth. Firm thighs. Inhale. Lift up. You could stay here, baby cobra, or extend your arms and deepen your back bend and lift your chin. Meet your back where it's at. Exhale, lower. Toes tuck. Inhale up the table. Exhale, lift up, downward facing dog, and pause here for several breaths. Slow down your heart rate. Come a little deeper in the pose. Sense what gravity is doing to help your spine lengthen. Your head is pulling your spine one way, and your hips are pulling your spine the other way. So keep pushing those hips up and back. On an inhale, left leg rises long behind you, hip points face down. Exhale, bend the knee, pull it to your ribs, and step it forward. Take your time. Take as many steps as you need. Lower the hips. Activate the power of the strong legs and hips as you rise up. Feel steady. Lift one arm, lift both arms, palms face each other. See if you can sink a little lower in your hips and pull shoulder blades together on your back. And maybe you lift your gaze to challenge your balance. Exhale, hands float down. Frame the front foot. Press up back foot to join the front foot. You're in your forward fold, Uttanasana. Sense how your body's warming up, the hamstrings are warming up. Point the crown of the head down, lift the hips, and breathe. Now pull your belly to your spine, and inhale, lift up one spine. Rise up, reach up, look up, hands touch. Exhale, release. Keep your hands at Anjali Mudra as you take in an extra breath. And you exhale, release that breath, and your hands come down to your sides. Let's see. Decline the call from my daughter. All right, I think it's time to move into transition, to move into our restorative poses. Let's take a moment to take a wide-legged forward fold. Step wide, keep feet parallel. The gauge for how wide apart you can stand is if I dropped a line from my bent wrist down. So you can see for me, I could step a little wider. Really take it at your comfort level. If you want to step a little closer, do so. All right, keep the spine long. Hinge at the hip crease. So to help you, you might even put your hands here at your hip crease. Inhale, lift up through the heart. Exhale. Hinge at the hips to bow forward. Try to keep that spine nice and long. Release hands underneath shoulders to spider fingertips. And if they don't reach there comfortably, you could have your hands touch a block. And then just breathe here. Feel this opening. And then go ahead and allow the spine to round, the head to bow, elbows to bend. Go down as far as you can, but don't come into pain. Just go to where your body allows and let the upper body hang off of the lower body. Legs are strong, hips are strong, core is active. Breathing here, and then rise up on the spider fingertips, long arms, hands under shoulders. Hands come to hips, slight bend in the knees as you press up. Heel toe. And we'll come down to the ground, come to a seated pose. Coming into Baddha Konasana. Just let this be a little transition before we move into our restoratives. Soles of the feet touch one another. Given this is a warm down, you could give yourself a little bit more space. Sit bones, the further apart the heels are from the sit bones, the less active this hip opening is. So the bigger the diamond here, the less the demand of the hips to open. If you bring them in and that's what your body needs right now, then you bring them closer. Hands touch your ankles. Let's keep the spine nice and long. So inhale, lift up through the heart, pull shoulder blades together on your back, and exhale, push your heart forward. And just go to where you can. And as in all things with yoga, it's not about what other people can do. It's really where is your edge for your body today. When you meet that edge and you hold there and breathe there, you're working incrementally to lengthen and strengthen. So stay where you're at, wherever you get to with that beautiful long spine and long neck. And then release and let it go and come on up. Extend your legs long, just bend the knees, maybe pedal the feet. Little windshield wipers left and right. And the first restorative pose that we're going to do is supported child's pose. One of the favorites. He is a universal favorite. So if you have the bolster, this is what you're going to use. If you don't have it, then use 3 pillows. Use a roller and add to it. If I only had a roller, then I would use a pillow. And so our legs frame the pillows, the roller, or whatever, and I'm gonna lay the torso down here. If I need more, I can always put, to meet the height I need, you adapt and modify. But the idea is that you walk your knees up either side, bring this support into your thighs until it can't go any further, because you want the whole torso supported. You inhale, lift up nice and tall through your spine, and then you lay the body over your props. Try to center your prop on your body. And then you turn your head to one side with arms framing. And you find support. Holding the body in this child's pose. It's called supported child's pose. But take the time. Pause the video. Take the time to adjust and experiment. If you have any tightness or soreness, then you might want a higher angle. You really want this release for the hips because that helps your low back to release. So if your hips don't touch your sit bones, then place a rolled towel or blanket there. Take the time, because we stay here for several minutes. It's really worth it to get the benefit of the opening of the body. And I'm going to hold the time for you. So you might pause the video to get your props, but in terms of the pose itself, we will hold for several minutes. The idea being that I place you in a certain pose and you encourage your body to completely surrender to the pose. And there is a degree of opening. It's a passive opening. In this particular pose, child's pose helps to passively open your hips, your low back, and the shoulders. There's no instruction for where your mind wanders to. There's no instruction for you to control the breath. There's a gentle encouragement for you to have long, slow, deep breaths, because that breathing tempo sends a message to your brain that all is well, that you can switch the channel over from fight or flight to rest and digest. The parasympathetic nervous system that really allows our body to just lower stress levels and really helps to power up the immune system and all the other functions that we need to be firing at full efficiency at this time of the pandemic. If you have a source of music, I recommend you having that in the background, something that's really soothing to you, something very low tempo. I found that playing any music on a Zoom recording, there's a distortion, so I don't add any in. And of course, you've got the extraneous noises around this house of lawn mowing. And feel free to turn your head the other way. Make this pose your own. We don't often build in this kind of time to sit quietly in a position for our body that yields these benefits. So really take advantage of this. And if you're finding resistance to the stillness, to the quietness, to holding a pose, then recognize that's human, that everyone, every single one of us has a resistance to different degrees of change, or but in yoga we work to calm the resistance. So if you're feeling anything, if you're feeling unsettled or restless, you just acknowledge it and keep an open mind as we keep going. One more breath cycle in this supported child's pose. And when you finish that exhale, I'm going to invite you to very slowly, hands press down into the mat to lift your torso and come to seated position. Walk back from your prop. Depending upon which prop you used, I can just keep using this. I'm not sure how common a roller is, but we're going to now do a supported twist. I think I'm going to switch to these pillows to give you that example. So 2, 3 pillows, really whatever will build the strongest ramp for you. I'm going to use these pillows in this way. And to get into this pose, I'll invite you to get your one hip, this is my right hip, flush with your support, whatever that may be. Place your legs in Z pose, which means sole of one foot touching this outer thigh. If this doesn't feel good, then make it less so. Stack it up however it works for you. Make sure that you try to get into the pose that you lengthen up through the spine, and then twist and adjust your hips. Make this pose the right one for you. But take time to inhale, lift up and lengthen, and then you're just going to lay the front of your torso down on your support. And then turn your head in the direction of the bent knees. Hands frame your support and release. And now if you're wanting more, you can lift up and turn your head the opposite way, and that just gives you more torque, more twist in the spine. You can experiment. We'll hold for several minutes. You can hold it looking the opposite way and turn it back whenever you want. Make this tailored just for you, and release into it. And really try to sense this elongation of the spine, this gentle twist of the spine, and then release Let your weight be totally supported by these props. And see if you can find some ease in this position. If it's painful, adjust, change. Find a position that you can hold for several minutes. And always coaxing, encouraging the breath to move slowly and deeply. I'm going to encourage you to finish one last breath cycle in this twist. For me, it was my right hip. And we will very slowly transition to turn and do the twist on the other side. Remembering that in restorative yoga, you move so as not to disturb yourself. So very slowly, let hands press into the mat to lift your torso up. And then just gently turn your hips so that your opposite hip is now flush. You make your legs into a Z pose. Don't forget to take the time bringing this hip flush with the pillow. That's what's so important, that you have complete support for the entire length of your body. Take the time to twist. Use the hand to help you come to your maximum range of twist, and then try to lay the front of your torso down onto the support. Turn your head towards the knees, the direction the knees are pointing first, and just check in with that. Is that the right place for you? If so, sink in and stay there. If you want more, you can turn to twist the opposite way and then release your hands. Let go. If you're tensing muscles, tell them to stand down. If you're having any effort in this twist, ease up on the twist. The idea is that you come to your maximum range of movement and then back off 10%. Feel free to pause the video. If you're enjoying a particular pose, then pause the video for as long as right for you. This class is limited to 50 minutes, so it's, we'll keep moving, but you have these choices. Breathing in a twist, remembering that our breathing is constrained in a twist because we are twisting and compressing the diaphragm, but still keep that intention. Breath in, breath out. There's a saying, breath sweeps mind. So let your breath sweep your mind. Just for this practice, let your breath sweep your body. And one more breath cycle here in this supported reclined twist. Remembering to support yourself now. When you finish that exhale, you support yourself to come out of this slowly and keep your attention inward. So press palms down to lift your torso. And keep your support right where it's at. But you'll need to use one of the towels or blankets for this next pose, which is supported Supta Baddha Konasana. So take a towel and fold it lengthwise, fold it in the middle. All right, so this is my towel, long towel. I fold it in the middle and I make this rectangle, lay that flat, and roll it up from the longest edge, not the short edge, to make it like a snake. Place it at the bottom of your mat or the lower end of your mat. This is the supported incline, so make sure you feel safe. If you don't want as much of an incline, You could lower it, and that's a bigger opening in your hips. If you want less of an opening, then you prop it up higher. So I'm leaving this as is. I'm going to bring my sacrum to be flush with the pillows, with the support. I bring my soles of my feet to touch, Baddha. We did this in our warm down. Knees splay out wide. And they do not need to be close. Give yourself space. This is a restorative pose. Heels can be away from sit bones. Bring your snake, wrap it around the front of your ankles, tuck it underneath the back of your ankles, and make sure those soles of your feet are touching. Your feet are not touching the ground. The soles of the feet are touching one another. Knees splay out. Now you can feel the weight of your legs is supported by the towel. If you had extra blocks, if you don't want so much of your legs unsupported, you could put the toilet paper roll or a block underneath your thigh. Make this work for you. All right, your body's close to the base, the sacrum is close to the blanket. And then just let your hands guide you to lie back. You want the neck supported. If your prop isn't long enough, then you're going to have to support yourself to rise back up and add more props. Stop the video. You don't want your head hanging back. That will put too much strain on your neck. So once you have the ramp to support you, you sink into the pose. This is a hip opener. Your hands are at your side, palms face up, inches away from the body. And you tune in. You slow the breath. With your eyes closed, you draw attention inward. And you find ease in this opening. If it's painful, you'll readjust. You'll come out of the pose and you'll add more props. If you would like an even deeper opening, then you remove props and you have less of an incline. And it's just a little bit more opening in the hips. Pause the video, adjust as necessary. We would typically tend to hold restorative poses for up to 4 minutes. But if one is particularly good for you, hold it for longer. Try to be aware if you are activating any muscles or if you're holding tension unconsciously. Try to send the message to the muscles to stand down, to let go, to be supported by these props. That you do have time for this. With your whole torso so open, encourage the breath on the inhale to come as low into your abdomen as you can. You might even sense the belly inflate on the inhale. Slowly exhaling through the nose. One more breath cycle in this pose and we'll get ready to transition. When you've finished your exhale, the hands will support the outer thighs to point the knees up to the ceiling and the feet touch the floor. Roll to one side to make sure that you're just supporting your body as you transition out of these poses. You can release the snake, but don't unroll it. The next pose is using the snake, and it's going to go underneath the shoulders. You place this rolled towel horizontally on your vertical mat. And the idea is that you rest your bottom of your shoulder blades on this mat, and let the arms come out over this. The arms will be above this, out at a T. And you should feel the lift at your sternum. It's not about placing it underneath your top shoulder or at your neck. That's not wrong. You're not going to hurt yourself. It's just that you won't get the value of the pose. It's a passive chest opener to help you get in the right place. Come onto elbows. Elbows touch that rolled towel, and then release and feel the base of your shoulder blades. The arms should easily go above the rolled towel. If your arms are on top, it means that you could lift up and come scoot your body up, scoot the little blanket down, so that you can really feel the lift at your sternum. And the legs can be bent knees and walk the heels wide, and knees could lean on one another. That's a very supported pose. Or for a little deeper opening, you could extend the legs long and feet flop open to the side. If there's any pain in doing this, then roll to one side and remove this rolled towel. And just lie on your back. This really helps us all because it helps to reverse that curl forward. With us using technology, using cell phones, typing on laptops, we are all rounding our shoulders forward, curving in our spine forward. The head is forward of the heart. That puts a lot of strain on the skeleton and the muscles. And so this pose helps to reverse that. Gives you some space in your ribs, really takes the front of the body to full extension, helps to open the shoulders, the pectoral muscles. And it's a very slight inversion with your head slightly lower than your heart, which is very beneficial for the blood flow, very beneficial for helping the body to rest. One more breath cycle in this pose. Really take your time to finish the exhale. Bend the knees if they're not already bent, and roll to one side and press yourself up. The last pose is legs up the wall. Now, I'm going to demonstrate legs up the wall, and if you have a clear space in your house or abode, good, use the wall. If you don't, like many rooms in my house, then you can use the chair. And I have a chair and I'll demonstrate that. But first, let me demonstrate up the wall. It's not that easy to get into this pose. Everybody looks a little bit awkward getting into this pose, but it's worth taking the time and the effort to wiggle into it. We all look like a beached whale. Let your hip be flush with the wall. Lean back on your hands, then lean back on your elbows, and in one swoop, you're going to sweep the legs up and turn the hips and rest your feet on the walls. The idea is that you get your sit bones close to the wall as you can. To help you do that, you lift your weight up on your elbows and you wiggle your hips close, and then you have to walk your shoulder blades in. You just keep wiggling until you get close as you can. L, like a 90 degrees, bend at the hips. Your heels will hold the weight of your legs, and your arms are out wide of the body with palms facing up. Now, once you get into the pose, you just release. You recognize these heavy legs are being supported by your heels holding the weight. Your blood flow is reversing, going from feet to heart to brain. This gives your adrenal system a break. It gives your lymphatic system a break. Those two systems in our body work 24/7 for us to fight off infection. So this pose is saying thank you to them and saying, go take a break for a minute. Restore yourself. You stay here. This is a great pose to do at night before you go to bed. It's a great pose to do at any time if you are upset or agitated. You can really calm the body down. I'm going to come out of it. Stay here if you have the wall. I'm going to come out of it and demonstrate legs up the chair if you do not have a clear space on the wall. You could use a kitchen chair, a desk chair, a folding chair. Let the seat of the chair face you. And as you come back to your mat, you get your hips as close to the front legs, as close to the front seat of the chair as you can. And you do that swivel of the hips, lift your calves up, and lower yourself down. And if you have long legs, hopefully you have a chair that will let you go through, let your feet go through. And once you get there, adjust, readjust. You're looking for a comfortable bend at the knees. And let the feet flop. Let the legs be held. Let the weight be held. And arms away from the body, palms facing up. And just tune into this pose. Really tune into your body as you linger in this pose. Really recognize this is a gift. A gift to your body. Feel free to pause the video and stay here as long as it works for you. We are going to now transition to Shavasana, the last pose of yoga practice, and there is no pose involved, there's no effort, there's no opening. It's simply lying flat on your back on the mat. If you wanted to do Shavasana and legs up the wall, this is a very restorative pose. You feel free to stay here. If you'd like to do the traditional Shavasana, then bend knees close to your body and roll to one side. Remove any props that are already on your mat. And you lie back. You walk heels to opposite corners of the mat, feet flop open. Arms traditionally are inches away from your body, palms facing up. Feel free to adjust, lift your weight up by your elbows. Really try to find a place of alignment that your body is fully supported. And let go. Shavasana is considered the most important pose of a yoga practice. This is where you absorb the benefits of your practice. Staying here in silence. I'll call you back to attention with the ring of a bell. slowly begin to bring your awareness back into your body as you deepen your breath and you add small movements of fingers and wrists, toes, and ankles, acknowledging any extraneous noises that are there and still yet come back around to where your attention is within. You can move and extend your body and move in any way that feels good now, lengthening the body or pulling knees into your chest and rocking. And with knees bent, eventually roll to one side and press yourself up with your hand and your elbow back into the seated position, back to the place where we began. Keep your attention inward as you bring the hands to meet at your heart in Anjali Mudra. I share a mantra. I welcome my awareness of the peaceful power deep in my heart, the seat of my strength and the home of my spirit. Let's seal the practice with a single chant of Om, remembering this sound, Om, O-M, is symbolic of our connection to one another and to the universe. Join in if you're comfortable, otherwise just listening. Connecting with the breath, you exhale to make the chant. As you're ready, just exhale air in your lungs. Inhale deeply. Lift your thumbs up to the center of your forehead, right above your eyebrows, your third eye, and join in saying this word, namaste. The meaning has many layers, but today, just holding this translation, that the light in me sees and honors the very same light in each one of you. Namaste. Thank you for your practice. Feel free to tailor and adapt this practice, to pause the video, to keep experimenting with the restorative poses until you find what works for you.